The Microsoft Xbox Series X and Series X, launching multiple consoles at the same time and doing a two skew pronged kind of attack into the generation seemed like a very smart idea. There's obviously going to be gamers that want to take advantage of the Series S, but I have to admit, like, from the beginning, I was a little bit unsure of the Series S. I was like, what kind of is the point? Because going back to 2016, even Microsoft was touting 4K, 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 and with a Series S, it would be like more of a 1080p, 1440p type machine, and therefore maybe wouldn't be, the 4K. And so I thought maybe it was a little bit confusing, but they launched it anyway, and it's had a varying degree of success. Obviously, with it being able to actually come across them in stores and things has really kind of helped them out in terms of sales and kind of match pace with Sony. But with that being said and done, there's been multiple times where some games on it were, running at a weaker frame rate or whatever. But the interesting thing to me is that should we blame one? Everybody talks about scalability and this kind of thing and that kind of thing, and basically scalability is what happens with PCs. And I've always kind of stuck by the fact that I think that consoles are much different than PC. They're extremely different than PCs, and not only are they different than PCs, but being more closed off and things like that, I think that they're probably easier to optimize because you're just aiming for that particular spec or whatever. So I thought that I'm kind of indifferent about the Series S. I mean, I have Series S's in the house. The kids have them. I have one in the living room. I use my Series X 100% of the time, pretty much. But with that being said, we got some information now that could be kind of a warning or a bit of construed bad news for Xbox owners. I don't know. I don't know what to really think about this, but I do want to get into it because I feel like it's definitely worthwhile getting into. And you know what? At the end of the day, we'll see how everybody feels about it, because these are the type of announcements and this type of news and kind of warnings are the type of thing that everybody talks about for a very long time. It's not one of those things that's going to go away anytime soon. After all, we've already been hearing from it for a while, so we'll have to see kind of what happens and where everybody kind of stands on this, because I'm kind of torn on it myself, so we'll see what happens. Hey everybody, I'm Crap Gamer. This is Crap Gamer Reviews, back with another video. Please, if you guys watched the video, leave a like on the video. I'm looking to get 100 likes on each of the videos that I do, and that would be very much appreciative of everything that you guys offer and kind of help out with and things like that. So yeah, definitely would appreciate any kind of instance that you guys could like the videos. It's very much something needed, to be quite honest. And the reason why it's needed is because it really does help out the with the cause, with the channel, with the entire thing. It's one of those things that people don't realize, that it just really does help your stuff to be seen. And to be honest, I'm just very grateful for that. So yeah, again, I was a little bit disappointed with the whole Batman. Like, I was interested in getting Batman, or excuse me, Gotham Knights. It's one of the games that I was super excited about getting into. And now I found out, we find out literally 5 days before launch that it's 30 frames per second. It's not a whole PC versus console thing, because to be honest with you, this game got canceled on last gen hardware, and you just figure, because the game doesn't look like it's really better, to be honest with you, than Gotham Knight, which came out than Arkham Knight, that came out in 2014. So here we are, 8 years later, and this game doesn't look as good as that, but it's still 30 frames per second locked. And I understand that it's, co-op, but if you're playing single player, shouldn't you be able to, have an option for performance mode? So it's going to be 30, and now a Rocksteady developer says that the Series S is holding back the entire generation. So a senior developer at Rocksteady Studios says that the Series S console has hamstrung an entire generation of video game consoles. Now, on Twitter, he said he believes that the Series S console is kind of ruining this generation. A conversation has started online regarding game development following news that Gotham Knights will launch only supporting 30 FPS on console, despite PS5 and Series X and X being, pretty much exclusive to this generation. And this has prompted some to make strong statements regarding why the game may be constrained and making the Xbox Series S a prime target. A post from Gotham Knights developer named Floor Marty on Discord is what started the complex and controversial discourse, as Marty explained that Gotham Knights would not feature a performance mode, a mode that usually sacrifices resolution and graphics features for frame rate. As such, Gotham Knights would only support 30 FPS on console. Now, developer Warner Bros.' decision has been criticized by players who wanted Gotham Knights to support 60 frames. In a series of tweets, Rocksteady senior character technical artist Lee DeVonald joined the conversation regarding Gotham Knights. At first, his focus is on addressing what 60 FPS means and the trade-offs necessary to reach that. He says it's especially important considering we have a current-gen console that's not much better than a last-gen one. He responds to a question about a hardware bottleneck and specifically mentions the Series S's GPU, with multi-platform games having to optimize for the lowest performer. It's a very interesting thing. He says that he wished he really understood what it meant. And basically, he says the Series S exists, and Microsoft won't let you launch on one without the other. An entire generation of games hamstrung by that potato. So he has some really harsh words for it. He says another follow-up showed how little the senior developer thinks of the Series S. He says there's an entire generations of it that are going to be kind of screwed over by it, and the reason why it's hamstrung isn't just because the Series S exists. He says that Microsoft won't let you launch on one without the other, which is obviously because they're both current gen consoles. It's a requirement which must be met for multi-platform game to launch on Xbox. Paired with the Series S comparatively less powerful GPU, then that explains why he believes the generation is hamstrung. To his credit, he has since apologized for his post regarding the Series S, as Twitter users pointed out that his call for respect for developers is hypocritical if he's doing so while attacking Microsoft's Xbox Series S developers in the same breath. He also clarifies that while Rocksteady has the same parent company as Gotham Knights developer WB Montreal, he's completely unfamiliar with the project and doesn't know anything about its development or what may be limiting the games. A lengthy post from him actually close out his thoughts and step away from the conversation, makes no mention of the Series S, but does say that any problems there might be with the current console generation are likely not the reason for the decisions behind Gotham Knights 30 FPS. And he says he wanted to educate regarding some of the trials and error that occurs in development, as teams should always be free to make their game their way. And he reiterates that any level of developer abuse, which obviously is wrong, and he says that it's wrong himself. So yeah, I agree with that aspect of it. Like, if it's wrong, it's wrong. You shouldn't be attacking gamers, and gamers shouldn't be attacking developers, and it's just these things that makes a lot of sense to me, just as a general human being, not to be a douche to some of these other people, you know what I mean? And so I get that. Again, it's just one of those things that I think probably reiterates. I don't think the Series S is necessarily holding back anything, because, again, the PS5, if they could ramp it up on that particular hardware, then they could. I don't really buy into the whole, well, it's all hamstrung because the PS5 has nothing to do with the Series S. And if it is true, like they do these kind of roving numbers or whatever, and it's possible, because on PC, I guess if you have enough spec, you can get 60 frames. So if they could spec it up on PS5, I'm sure they would. And again, there's plenty of games that are 60 frames on the Series S. So, I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you guys take this as something serious? Let me know. Rack 'em up, fact 'em up, Crap Gamer 'em up. Thanks for watching. Crap Gamer out.